Hey, everybody out there. It's Richard. We are live. It is 4:30 p.m. on Friday. Congratulations for everybody that has made it through the first 11 months. This is our first Restless of 2011. So I'm glad I could be here to welcome you into December. So thanks for joining. We have a fun day planned for everybody today. I mean, it is this, so it's kind of sad. I was thinking about it. This is our last Restless of 2020. So it's the last Restless of 2020. We aren't going to be going next week because I'm going to take Friday off because on pretty much, well, I'll probably be working, but all day Saturday, all day Sunday, I'm going to be prepping for the live nativity, which is going to be Sunday night. I know we have a handful of people that are going to be involved with that. And then we have the following week is Christmas Day. So obviously I'm not going to be going a Restless live on Christmas Day. And then on Christmas Eve, or not Christmas Eve, and then the following week is New Year's Day. So then our next Restless is going to be the 8th of January, and I'll remind you guys in January that that's going on. But we've got a good chunk of time where we're not going to be meeting. So anybody that wants to still be connected, feel free to give me text messages or send me an email, however you'd like. But we do have a lot of stuff going on for the holidays. RB community is busy as ever. We're not really taking too much time off. Hey, Aiden, good afternoon. Glad you could join us. So I was just telling everybody about the Christmas nativity, which is going to be next weekend. So I definitely encourage you to join us for that, Aiden. Have your whole family. It's a drive-through, so you don't have to get out of the car. You don't have to worry about germs. It's totally safe. All you got to do is just basically just come and drive through slowly the upper parking lot and pull out on your phone. We'll have audio for you to play so you can hear the Christmas nativity story. So I encourage you guys to be doing that. So we've got some just fun stuff in store coming up. Christmas Eve, we have multiple services. There's going to be a service in the courtyard as well as a drive-in service. So the drive-in service, I know, Aiden, you've been to one of those before. And basically that is just a opportunity to come and be together, but you're able to stay in your car, and the music and the sermon will be played through your car audio speakers. Also, one of the major perks of that is that you get to control the temperature of the sanctuary yourself. So because you'll be in your car, it's an opportunity to, a lot of the times at church we're navigating, people are hot, people are cold. It's difficult to get everybody happy. So when everybody has their own control, it's pretty empowering. So just to give people time, if people are running behind, I'm going to not get started just yet on our game, but we do have a couple things that I wanted to share. As you can see, we've decorated a little bit for Christmas in the Klusmeyer household. I know obviously this is a little stage setting for video, but I'll give you guys a quick show of some of my favorite Christmas ornaments on our tree over here. But then we're going to play a game that is a chance for everybody to share a little bit about some of the stuff that they've been that's, I guess, gives us insight into our personalities when it comes to how we act around Christmas time. So honestly, this is my year-round coffee mug. I've got my permanent name Post-it note marked on it, but it does happen to go pretty well with our Christmas decorations. So it's particular. I look a little more festive than I might otherwise, but this is how I always am with my red coffee cup at home. So a quick tour of my my Christmas tree. So I've got some great stuff out there, you guys. So one of the things that is crazy is that I was looking at my ornaments earlier today, and I realized many of my ornaments are older than the students because they're ones that I got when I was younger. So at first, the first one I looked at, where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay. So this is a little snowman guy, pretty cute looking. And I turned it over and it says Richard 99. So I thought about that and I was thinking, that's not that old, because in 99, actually, believe it or not, I was in high school already. So I was in high school when I got this Christmas ornament, but I realized that's older than a high school senior, actually. So that my ornaments that I don't think are that old, like I don't consider this an old ornament. The ones when I'm really little are the ones that I consider old ornaments. But Carolyn is going to hate this, because one of the things that we did is when we got married, obviously we had some of the Christmas ornaments that were hers and some of the Christmas ornaments that were mine. So Carolyn's going to hate the fact that I'm showing everybody this. This is Carolyn 1986. 1986. That was the year Carolyn was born. So she is less than 1 year old. If this picture is yeah, that looks like a less than 1 year old. So that's pretty cute. Pretty cute. So she's not going to appreciate me sharing that one with you guys. But for those of you guys that are, let's say, much younger than somebody born in 1986. So I would say that this is our oldest ornament, but I was actually born in 1984. So I'm sure somewhere on our tree we have a picture of me from when I was 1 or 2 years old, or potentially that picture ornament is still at my mom and dad's house, because that's what people do when they're really little, is that when they have kids that are really little, is they do commemorative Christmas ornaments. So I'm sure you guys have some of your own commemorative Christmas ornaments as well. So honestly, though, some of my favorite ones are the ones that aren't necessarily the old ones, but are the newer ones that kind of, you don't really know what a kid's personality is going to turn out like when they're really little. Although my mom probably knew I would have loved this one when I was 1 year old. But here I've got one. Whoops, I just pulled the whole top off. This one, I'm going to have to fix that. It says, I love bacon. So if you're wondering what Richard is in a nutshell, it is this Christmas ornament. So I've got I love bacon, which is our first one. And then I've got one other favorite one. There's a part of me that wishes this would fit like on top of the cup without getting in the cup and I could just have it sit there, but it's not quite large enough. So I'm going to just sit it right here. There we go. That looks like a good spot for it. I've got this guy right here, which I don't love glitter. He has a little bit of glitter on his hat, but this is a little Cookie Monster ornament. So we got a Cookie Monster ornament on this guy. So this is one of my favorites. I'm going to set that guy. See if he'll stand. Yeah, he stands. That's a pretty festive looking screen I've got going right there. So those are just I think those are some of my favorite ones. Obviously we have a whole bunch of ornaments, but that's all I'm going to actually, where is it? This is one that Carolyn and I got 5 years ago, which was when we got married. So this one's very secured. Because of Jazz, Carolyn did a really good job of securing all of our ornaments so that Jazz couldn't pull them down. And obviously you're watching me struggle as well. So here we go. This is it actually says 2016. So I said 5 years ago, but so this would have been Carolyn and I got it, was given to us on our almost 1 year. Carolyn and I got married on January 9th. So we have our 5 year anniversary coming up here in a couple weeks. So this was a 2004. This is a beautiful little ornament. I'll set that guy right there. And then let's see. I think that's it for what I'm going to show you guys today. So it does say there's a couple more people watching. Aiden's the only one I've seen in the chat. So if you guys are able to sign in and put yourself in the chat, you can participate in this next activity. If not, Aiden, you and I will get to know some of our personalities a little better. So this is a game that we would play. If we were in person, we would play, and we would have everybody either sit or stand with each individual question. So we're going to ask a question, and if that applies to you, you stand. If that doesn't apply to you, you sit. So let's say the question. So these are all going to be Christmas related. But let's say the question is, I like pie. So if you like pie, you stand up. If you don't like pie, you sit down. So if you're in the chat, if you want, you can go ahead and just say sit or stand. You can type it out, and I'll just tell you guys verbally where I stand on each one of these questions. So this is sit down if. So basically, you're gonna, if it applies to you, you're gonna say stand. If it doesn't apply to you, say sit. And here we go. I guess it's the opposite, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so sit down if. So sit down if. So I guess I explained it backwards. Sit down if this applies to you. Your wish list has more than 10 items on it. So if your wish list has more than 10 items on it, you're going to say sit. If your wish list has less than 10 items on it, you're going to say stand. So for me, I don't necessarily know how many items are on my wish list, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say I would sit on this one. I think I have more than 10 items on my wish list, but I also do not have the expectation that I get everything on my wish list. I also know I'm the kind of guy that I have people in my family that I feel like if I say something on my wish list, I also don't have unrealistic expectations. Like my wish list is pretty simple. My wish list is pretty simple. So it's like, it's not like I want a whole bunch of $1,000 items. I mean, it's more like, okay, I wanted a new cutting board, right? And I don't want a $200, $300 cutting board. I was just like, well, I wish I had a cutting board that had the little ridge around the outside, simple stuff like that. So nothing too complex. Aiden, what are some of the fun items you have on your wish list? You can go ahead and type those out. So my wish list isn't like, there's a lot of items on it, but it's really not super, super significant. Mostly it's just stuff that I would probably end up buying for myself anyway, $20 items, $30 items that if I really, really wanted to, I would buy them myself. But I know that it's that time of the year where I keep on getting asked, what do you want? Like I keep on getting asked, what do you want for Christmas? So I instead of buying stuff, okay, I'll wait till January. And then if I get it, I don't need to buy it. But so that is really cool, Aiden. So you want to start making some macaroons. That's cool. That's a great idea. What's your favorite flavor macaroon? I am a fan of the pistachio. So books. So you've got books. Ooh, is that architecture? Yeah. Architecture Legos. That is very cool. So our family doesn't have a tradition with macaroons, but we do have a family tradition where we make raviolis for Easter. So that's a fun family thing where we make raviolis together. So maybe you could have a family tradition where you make macaroons for a holiday. Maybe that be Christmas, or maybe every year on New Year's you make macaroons or something. So that's our Christmas list. So let's take a look at this next one. Okay. So actually, I've got a quick question too, because Aiden, on my screen, when I see what is being shown, the text is backwards. Is it backwards for you too? Is it like almost impossible for you to read that because it goes backwards, or does it flip it around for you? Like on me, my sign says YOJ instead of joy. So, yeah, I mean, I was just curious about that because I always kind of point this out thinking you're going to be able to read it, but then okay, so you can see it straight because I'm looking at it on there and I'm trying to read it and then I'm like trying to figure out what it says, and then it's always just easier for me to show this one. So this one is sit down if you have ever had fruitcake. So fruitcake is a somewhat unique cake. Really, it's honestly, I kind of consider it more like a muffin with fruit in it, but it's kind of got that banana breadish kind of like texture to it. So I've definitely had it. One of my favorite comedians is a guy named Jim Gaffigan, and he talks about fruitcake, and he says, what's the recipe for fruitcake anyway? Anything but fruit? Because it's called fruitcake, except it's more like a muffin with these weird little chewy gelatinous, and I think they're supposed to be fruit flavored things. And I'm guessing once upon a time they were little cherries and things like that. But right now it almost feels more like it's little gumdrops. So yeah, so you've never had a fruitcake? Honestly, I don't feel like you're missing out too much. But in Europe, I know fruitcake is a popular Christmas gift. Okay, so they're little dried fruit pieces. Yeah, it's like that. I think that's what it's supposed to be, but honestly, they feel a little more like gummy bears in a cake. So if you've never had it, so you're standing, but I don't think you're missing out too much. I mean, if I've got my options to have a piece of cake, I think fruitcake is going to be pretty far down on my list of things that I would want. Okay, so let's check out this next one. So, sit down if you have never gone Christmas caroling. So, I would assume that this is one of those things you feel like everybody has done, but there are people that don't. One, they don't like singing, and two, they don't necessarily want to be going out and whatever at Christmas. So sometimes you just stay at your home. So sometimes you stay in your house with your family. You might not go out Christmas caroling. So this is sit down if you have never been Christmas caroling. So if you've never been Christmas caroling in your entire life, this one would be a sit. Aiden, where are you at on this one? You have not gone Christmas caroling. So it's not nearly as popular, I think, in California and San Diego, but a lot of places in the United States, it's a very, very common activity where you get in a group and you just go from house to house to house down the block and sing a Christmas carol at each one. We used to do an event from our high school and middle school group. We called it Caroling for Cans, where we would go around the neighborhoods around the church and we would sing Christmas carols. And then we had a little thing asking for, hey, do you have any extra old cans of soup or canned fruit or green beans or whatever, refried beans in your pantry that you aren't using that we could donate to charity? So we'd carry a bag and collect cans of it. So we called it Caroling for Cans. So that was a sit down if you've never been caroling for cans. So next one. Sit down if you have never seen It's a Wonderful Life. Sit down if you've never seen It's a Wonderful Life. So It's a Wonderful Life is considered a Christmas classic. It's probably one of the most famous Christmas movies of all time. It's a classic, so it's an older movie. So Aiden, you have seen It's a Wonderful Life. So if you guys haven't seen It's a Wonderful Life, I recommend watching it. It's a all-time Christmas classic. So for me, my all-time favorite classic Christmas movie, so these are the older ones, are number one, Christmas in Connecticut. So if you've never seen Christmas in in Connecticut, you can watch that one. It's not as quite as well known or as famous. But then second is also It's a Wonderful Life. I also saw the It's a Wonderful Life musical, which is always a really fun time as well. Okay, so Aiden says he loves White Christmas. So yeah, that's also a classic. So there, I mean, that's the thing with Christmas movies. There are a lot of them. So we've definitely got a lot of options. Definitely got a lot of options. So, okay, let's take a look at our next question. Sit down if you don't know the words to Jingle Bell Rock. So Jingle Bell Rock is a newer Christmas song. I guess it's not that new anymore, but it's it's not one of the old classics, let's put it that way. Kind of like White Christmas and Christmas in Connecticut and It's a Wonderful Life. So yeah, so Aiden, you know some of them. I'm with you. I kind of know a couple of them, but it's like I definitely don't know more than like the one line. So I would say I don't really know the words to Jingle Bell Rock. I know there's a dancing and prancing the night away. I know that's in there. But yeah, I definitely, if we were going Christmas caroling, I would need a song sheet for sure. So I'm with you on that one. I kind of know some of the words, but definitely not the entire thing. Okay, so sit down if you hate the movie Elf. So I don't know where you stand on this one, Aiden. We've got 3 other people watching, but are not in the chat, so I don't know their answers. But I feel what? Wow, that's amazing. So I guess if you've never seen it, you can't have an opinion either way. I definitely don't hate Elf. I think it's a great movie. But I can understand if somebody does hate it because it's like I guess it's a certain kind of humor. But Elf is a cute movie, I think. So I guess that takes that one out. If you've never seen it, you can't really hate it. So we'll just skip on that one then. We don't need to talk about it too much. Okay, sit down if you haven't done any Christmas shopping yet. So we are 14 days away from Christmas. So that's exactly 2 weeks. So we are 2 weeks away from Christmas. If you haven't done your Christmas shopping yet, sit down. So I've done a little bit. Honestly, I'm off the hook somewhat because Carolyn has done a lot of it. So I've gotten a couple things. I've still got a few items to go. One of the things with quarantine is we're not going as big as we typically would on Christmas. We don't have family coming into town. We're not going to have as many huge gatherings. So our number of gifts is lower. So Aiden says, I am not doing any this year, but I am making homemade caramel candy. So that's a great idea. I mean, especially, if you're Aiden in middle school, really, and you don't exactly have an income, it's difficult for you to buy gifts. So being able to do something that you can do at home, you can make something to give away for your family to enjoy. That is a beautiful gift. So I'm sure everyone in your family will appreciate that, and anybody that your family chooses to give it to. And making caramel's fun. So that's cool. You have to tell me about the process that you're going to use sometime later. But homemade baked goods are always, I guess caramel's not necessarily baked, but homemade goods are always a fun and beautiful gift for people to get. So I guess we're both kind of undecided on this question, but we know that we're not going to wait too late. I used to do all of my Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve. Years and years ago, like 20 years ago, I used to work a job where I got off at like 4:30 in the morning. So it wasn't quite a full night shift, but I used to work the night before, and then Christmas Eve morning, I would get off work 4:30, and Christmas Eve, a lot of stores open up really early because they want everybody to be able to get their last minute shopping in. So they'd open up 5:30, 6 o'clock. Probably not anymore now that everybody can pre-order things online, but probably open at 8 or 9 o'clock now. And I would just do all of my Christmas shopping on New Year's Eve. I know, call me a slacker or whatever, but it worked. I think I've been labeled as a semi-decent gift giver, so I don't think my family was too upset with my style. But Carolyn and I have definitely improved a little bit on our Christmas gift buying. But one thing we're still working on is our Christmas gift wrapping. I do know we have a tendency to put everything in one spot, and then it's time to wrap, and we'll be like, oh, shoot. So Carolyn's mom's birthday is on Christmas Eve. So we'll do like a Christmas Eve brunch with Carolyn's mom. So we'll be like, oh, we're going to see all of these people. So like first thing in that morning, we're going to be wrapping the gifts for people that we're going to see at her mom's brunch. So then we go with a trunk full of stuff, and then it's like, oh, shoot, now we're going to my parents. We have to wrap everything that we're going to need for them. And then it's like then New Year's Eve, we're always wrapping all the last ones at the last minute. And, we'll get gifts for some of my friends and their kids, and we'll be like, well, we're not actually going to see them Christmas Day, so we can wrap them later. And it's just one of those, for whatever reason, we can't bring ourselves to wrap the gifts too far in advance. So pretty good. We're okay about gift shopping. We're not great about gift wrapping. Okay. Here we go. This is a good question. Sit down if you have ever given a gift to a pet. So if you've given a dog a treat for Christmas, whether you made them an edible cake or you give your cat something, sit down if you have ever given a pet a present. So for me, that is a definite. I am sitting down. I have given Jazz and many, many, many of our pets in the past presents for Christmas. I know growing up with my parents, I always had a tradition of we had this little ornament that looked like a bird, and I would always make sure I would hang it on the very bottom shelf, or not shelf, but the very bottom branches, so our cat Charlotte and Josie could swat at them whenever they would like. So definitely I've definitely given our cat presents over the years. I honestly don't recall if I gave Jazz anything last year for Christmas, but I promise you I did, because the reality of it is we got Jazz in October, so we were very much so still giving him all sorts of new things. So pretty much everything to him was a treat at that point, but we'll make sure he gets something cute this year. But Carolyn's cousin Michael was out here last year for Thanksgiving, and he gave us this. So this isn't necessarily a gift to a pet, but this is a gift about our pet to us. And he made us this cool little picture thing that we put out on so we put it out this year for Christmas. You can't see it when I hold it like that, but it says on the bottom, it says Jazz's first Christmas. So Michael made this for Carolyn and I last year. So it's been in our house for the last couple weeks since we got out our Christmas decorations. Got to be honest with you, we decorated. I don't know if it was the weekend of or just before Thanksgiving. We actually decorated we didn't have anybody over for Thanksgiving. I actually think it was the weekend before Thanksgiving. I think we put up the Christmas tree, and Carolyn's been adding her little touches for the last couple of days or last couple of weeks. So Jazz will definitely be getting some new Christmas toys, I'm sure. We'll see what Amy Wozni, I don't know if you said you might be watching. So if you are, he was running around with that little yellow spring toy that you gave him. It's super cute because it's one of the toys that he can pick up in his mouth and walk around with it. So he'll definitely take it and move it around the house to wherever he wants to hang out with it. So he loves that. So Sit down if you went Black Friday shopping. So obviously, most people weren't actually doing Black Friday shopping in person this year, but if you're doing it online, it was definitely a lot of sales this year. They were encouraging people. So Aiden, you did not go Black Friday shopping. So Carolyn and I definitely got a couple things. Mostly, honestly, it wasn't like special stuff. We both kind of just needed to update our wardrobes a little bit. We haven't been going out or doing much, but we had definitely got a few new clothing items just because it was 30% off, 40% off, 50% off. So I got a couple new shirts, and Carolyn got a new pair of shoes. So nothing too exciting. Like it wasn't like we bought the 90-inch TV that was 70% off. We didn't do any like super exciting sales, but a fun Black Friday story for you guys is I worked in high school. Yes, I worked in high school. In high school, I worked at Target. I worked at the Target in Poway. So I don't think Matthew is watching, but Matthew's brother Andy works at Target he works at the one in Forest Ranch. But I worked at the Poway Target in when I was in high school. And back then, actually, it had a garden center. So they've remodeled it, and it doesn't even have a garden center anymore. So good thing I didn't make a career out of working in the Target Garden Center, because I'd be out of a job. But I worked for Black Friday. And I remember, like I said, on Black Friday, kind of like Christmas Eve, stores open really early. So they had me coming into work at 4:30 in the morning. And I come to work, and I get to the door, and there is a line. I kid you not. So this is at 4:30 in the morning. There is a line from Target wrapped all the way past Starbucks around, that store that's now, it was Atlas. It used to be a Albertsons. And then there's that jewelry store on the corner over by Twin Peaks. There was a line all the way down. So it was almost that's like a block. There was a line that was over a block long. And granted, this was not socially distanced people waiting in line. This is like literally people right in line waiting to get in the store, a block long. And when the doors opened, there were full on people running around. And most people, there was a stereo. This is a good glimpse of perspective, is that everybody is trying to get rid of those stereos now. You can't, you have to pay somebody to come and take yours, those big, huge boombox things. But everybody wanted those, and it was a hot item. It was like usually it was probably $250, and on Black Friday it was $100, and people were going crazy for it. So I don't get it. But it is something that people enjoy, trying to shop and find deals and get the most for their money. I know people work hard to earn money. So anytime you can get a discount, I'm sure they love it. So Black Friday is a huge hit. And if you can find deals, and if you're good at that, then I'm all for cheering you on for saving your money. It's a good habit to save your money. Okay. Sit down if you have built a gingerbread house. I'm going to go on and guess this one, that we do have somebody that has built a gingerbread house out there before. So I've definitely built a gingerbread house in my many gingerbread houses in my life. We've done gingerbread making house competitions at the Highway before, or high school ministry. So Carolyn's family has a big event where they have, we're talking 20 plus people get together and have a massive gingerbread house making competition. So it's sad that we're not able to do that this year, but it's a really cool tradition that they have. And for those of you guys that know me, I'm not the most artistic person in the world. few months ago, we played a game where we did like Pictionary, where you guys saw my artistic drawing skills, and you saw that they were somewhat lacking. But I do love a challenge, and I do like building things. So it's not as much like the crafting and the decorating, but I enjoyed the building process. So, instead of just making a standard gingerbread house, I decided I'm going to put a second story on. It's going to have a garage. So I built a 2-story gingerbread house that had a garage for, honestly, I've made more cars. I used little lifesavers as wheels, and like the gingerbread pieces they would use to make chimneys. I'd use that as the car body and designed a couple different cars. So I am definitely going to miss gathering with family to build gingerbread houses. I'm going to miss easy access to candies around the house, which is for my benefit. I think probably the best that I don't have a bunch of candy sitting around I'm one of those people also that eats the gingerbread houses. I know some people are like, you can't eat the gingerbread houses. I was like, we're making houses out of candy, people. They're meant to be eaten. So I can't resist walking by and grabbing. I think one of my favorites is the Rolo. I love grabbing a Rolo off of, if anybody puts those on. I love the gummy lifesavers if anybody puts those on. So there's lots of different options. So we got a couple more of these and then we'll be wrapping up. But here we go. Sit down if you haven't put up your Christmas tree yet. So I obviously have put up our Christmas tree. It is right here. Carolyn did most of the decorating of said Christmas tree, but I did I don't want to say the hard part, because Carolyn would say I did the hard part, and I would say Carolyn did the hard part. So we worked as a team and did the parts that we think were easy. And I got it down out of we have a little hoist system that it hangs in the ceiling of the garage. So I hoisted it down and set it up, and then Carolyn did the work of decorating it. And what's it called when you kind of straighten the branches? It's not fluffing. Maybe it is fluffing. Fluff the tree? No. I'm drawing a blank. But there's a word for it where you put the branches, spread them out evenly so it looks good. So Carolyn did that bit. So growing up in Singapore, one of the things that was interesting there is Singapore doesn't have, it's a tropical island, so there's no pine trees. So for my entire life, my parents put up the same Christmas tree, and it was great. It was great. Same Christmas tree, and it was one of the ones that was color-coded branches so you'd open up this big bag that had a whole bunch of different pieces, and you'd be like, oh, this one's marked yellow, that's the bottom, this one's marked orange. And we put it together and assemble it. But we had, because we couldn't get a Christmas tree, like a real one. I never had a Christmas tree until I was older. And I remember being super, super, super excited about it. I can't wait. Oh, we're going to have a real Christmas tree. This is going to be the best. And then I realized how much of a mess it is and how difficult it is to deal with. And now as an adult, I'm like, okay, definitely the fake Christmas tree is definitely awesome. Good option. All the ones now come pre-lit, which is fantastic. You don't even have to string Christmas lights anymore. That's convenient. On this tree, you can't really see the whole tree, but the top strand of Christmas lights went out. So I had to get instead, so that we didn't have a whole ton of extra lights, I got a short strand of Christmas lights, and it only has 10 bulbs on it. So it's a tiny one to just wrap around. It was like the last foot of Christmas tree. So yeah, Aiden, you put it up. And you guys, I'm sure your family is, I bet your house is awesome at Christmas, Aiden. I bet your family has it well decorated. I bet it smells good. Like you probably have I don't know, cinnamon candles, or maybe one of the, Carolyn has a scented, it's like a scented stick kind of thing that just smells like Christmas. And you're talking about making peppermint macaroons and caramel, and I just bet your house smells awesome. Is there going to be a baking of a pie? I don't know. I might try to make a pie at Christmas this year. We'll see how that goes. Okay. Sit down if you have gotten underwear as a Christmas gift within the last 3 years. So, this is an interesting one because I remember one year I asked for underwear for Christmas. Like, I was just like, I'm out. And like I said, when we were talking about whose Christmas list is over 10 long, I don't have like a very impractical Christmas list. It's just like, oh, this is something that I need. So it's like, if I need underwear, it's kind of like, oh, I'll just say like, hey, I want underwear. So this is like, I didn't have a whole lot of needs. And I was just like, so whenever somebody asked, what do you want for Christmas? What do you want for Christmas? I always say underwear. And that year I didn't get any underwear or socks. And I was like, what is this? I'm an adult now. This is like supposed to be every year I get underwear, but apparently not. And I honestly don't think I have in the last 3 years. So I don't think I have. I think I might have to sit down on this one. So, or you have gotten, sit down if you have gotten underwear. So I'd be standing. I have not gotten underwear, but I have gotten it plenty of times in the past. So it is what it is. Okay. Sit down if you asked for an iPhone this Christmas. So I know this is one of those mega items of this is the thing that a kid begs for Christmas. I want an iPhone. I want an iPhone. I want an iPhone. Well, on one note, I already have an iPhone, but I have an old iPhone. I guess not that old. I have a newer old iPhone. It seems like there's a new one every year, so I'm not one of those people that needs the newest and freshest and best item. You guys have heard me say this on our program before. I have a contentment problem of where sometimes I always say like, oh, it's fine. I don't need a new one. It still works. And then somebody will be like, no, Richard, you really need to replace this. It is obviously not good anymore. So sometimes I have a contentment problem, but my phone works fine. So I don't need a new iPhone. And I'll be fine probably until it breaks. And then I get a new one. I have a tendency to be okay with whatever I have until it breaks. And then I'll replace it if I can't fix it myself. But there are some things I try to fix myself that I probably should have just replaced. Okay, we've got 2 more. And then we'll be at 5:15. We'll be full time. Okay, this one's just, or any Apple products. We'll just skip that one. So one of the big items this year, the AirPod Pros, which is the new AirPods. And they also came up with one that goes over the ears that people were making fun of because they were so expensive, a $600 pair of headphones. I'm sure there's somebody out there that can justify needing them. But I loved all the funny comments people that made, like $600. I better be able to hear God talk through them and jokes like that. And then this one is you asked for cash for Christmas. So this is one of those things that I never ask for cash for Christmas, but I also typically get cash for Christmas. So sometimes it's just easier to give people money for Christmas. I know a lot of people, they don't want to ask somebody what they want for Christmas. And some people don't tell people what they want for Christmas. So then sometimes people just think, you know what, I'll just give them cash because then I know they can get something that they want. So it's a good deal. I know a lot of people give gift cards. So, or I know in my family, Amazon gift cards are big. my wife and my sister both like a jewelry company called Kendra Scott. So typically they're getting Kendra Scott gift cards because then they can get whatever jewelry item they desire. And we're not talking about $1,000 diamond earrings. We're talking about reasonably priced jewelry. So, and I know Carolyn and my sister Katie both love Kendra Scott. One lesson I learned is never give my dad a gift card for Christmas. So if you give my dad a gift card for Christmas, it is a waste of your money because he will put the gift card in a pile. It will sit in a pile, and then he just will have a stack like this of all the gift cards that he's never used. So don't bother giving my dad a gift card for Christmas. It's a waste of money. I've learned that lesson. Don't buy my dad a movie for Christmas. He's never going to open it. So I remember I gave my dad a movie for Christmas, like probably like 15 years ago or so. And then I went over to my parents' house, and like you can still see that the box, the case hadn't even been opened. So don't bother getting my dad. And honestly, after all of these years, we've come to realize all my dad wants for Christmas is tennis balls. Like, that's literally all he wants. Is he wants new tennis balls. Every once in a while, you'll get him a new gadget that he loves, but he's not too complex when it comes to gifts that he wants. So my family's pretty great when it comes to giving gifts too. My mom's a fantastic gift giver. Always gives really funny, practical stuff. My aunt is great, and my aunt is really fun to give gifts to as well. My aunt's last name is Ham. So we always get her some sort of pig related Christmas present, like the I love bacon ornament. That's the kind of thing I could just give to my aunt. I know one year we got her a little pig that you attached from the ceiling with wings on it that flew in a circle that said "When pigs fly." So my family is good when it comes to gifts. So that was the last one for us today. So it was fun hanging out with you. I can see that there's more people watching, but Aiden, you're the only one I was hearing from in the chat. So Aiden, it was great talking with you. Everybody else that was watching, I hope you enjoyed and had a good time. But it's 5:15, so I'm going to do a quick announcement blast before I sign off for 2020. So first off, Christmas Nativity next Sunday evening from 5 to 8 p.m. There's information about it online, but there's going to be camels. We have a cast of almost 40 people that are going to be socially distanced. So like a family unit will form a scene. We have 7 different nativity scenes. So it's not just like go look at the nativity. It's like, look at this scene, and then you drive a little while further, and then this scene, and then you drive a little while further, and then this scene. So I encourage you guys to check that out. And then we have, a bunch of people. That's December 20th. And then Christmas Eve, we do have 2 in-person service options for you to attend. So that's on Christmas Eve. There will be a service at 1:00. And then there will be a service at 4:00. So one of the services is going to be a come and sit in the courtyard service. And that service is limited size numbers. And then we have, is there a scene setup date? So the scenes are going to be starting to be set up on Saturday. Miss Olivia is going to be sending out the information on exactly when the different scene setups are. And she's going to be scheduling people because we're not going to have too many people there setting up at the same time. We just want to minimize the amount of interaction that we have with people. So I like for the musicals and the shows over the years, we have like a massive load-in day where everybody comes and we just have, 40 people all working at once. But what we're going to be doing is throughout the course of all day Saturday and then all day Sunday doing shifts where people are going to be working, doing setups. So if you're interested in working a scene setup, that's going to be the Saturday before and then the Sunday of. So that's on that. And then Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, we're going to have 2 services in the courtyard. First one is going to be at 1:00, and then we're going to do a drive-in service as well. So you'll be able to just come and sit in your cars. I'll double check that information for you, but I believe I want to make sure I get the services right. I believe the 1:00 service, I believe, is the courtyard service, and then the 4:00, I believe, is the drive-in service. But I'll have to double check that one for you. And then our next online Restless is going to be January 8th. And then the following weekend, I'll get an event on our calendar to do an in-person event if that is still reasonable to do. So I'll be trying to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and pray, and then we are going to call it, we're going to call 2020 a wrap for Restless. I think this is our 22nd session of Restless. That's quite a few over the course. We've been in quarantine for 9 months now. So that's quite a few, but I'm going to go ahead and pray us out and then see if I can shoot out the camera one last time in 2020. I'll see you guys next year. God, I thank you for keeping everyone in our family safe. Lord, I know there are people that are sick and there are people that are hurting and people in pain, and I pray that you would be with them. Lord, I pray for continued health as we finish out this year, that I know people are going to be gathering, people are doing Christmas shopping, but I pray that people would really honor the health and well-being of the people around them, that people wouldn't take risks that are unnecessary. Lord, I pray for everybody that in this situation needs to be at risk, anybody that's in the healthcare profession or essential services, that you would protect them, Lord. Thank you for this year, Lord. It's been weird. It's been different, Lord, but we've also seen you work. And I just ask that you would continue to be with RB community and our faith family as we finish out 2020 and heading into 2021. In your name I pray, amen. Okay, everybody out there, we love you. We miss you. And we hope to see you soon. I'm going to shoot out the camera. Cole, you showed up here right at the last second, so it's good to see you. Glad you could join us, but we're actually signing up. We're finishing up our program right now, so I'm about to shoot out the camera, and then we'll call it a day. So sorry you're getting on at the last second, but we're glad you're able to join us. So Cole, we're just saying some of our announcements as we're wrapping up this year. This is our last one because next week is going to be the Nativity, and we're going to be getting ready for that. And then the following week is Christmas, and then the following week is New Year's Day. So our next one is going to be January 8th. So on that note, it's good to see you guys. We love you. We miss you. Hope to see you soon. Close. 3 left. Oh, just over. Oh, I'm just missing every time. I think I'm out. I got 3 that you can see on the screen. That's pretty good. So on that note, love you guys. It's been real this year in 2020. Hope you guys have a fantastic Christmas. Jazz heard me shooting the Nerf darts. He loves to play with the Nerf gun too. So he's going to run around and help me pick them all up. And I will see you guys hopefully next week. I'm going to be dressed up as a shepherd at the drive-in nativity, so hopefully I'll see you there. I know, Cole, you're going to be in the nativity too, so I'll for sure see you there. Have a fantastic weekend.